Okay, this is going to be a review for, given an equation of a line, we're going to create a table of values and we're also going to graph that equation. So just a quick review here. We've talked about this extensively, but rate of change from the equation of a line, y equals mx plus b, that is going to be your m value. And rate of change here is the same as m, which also means slope. And it means rise over run, which we've talked a lot about in graphs, and it means change in y over change in x, and we've talked a lot about that in a table. Also here, initial value from the equation y equals mx plus b, we know that that initial value is going to be our b value, and that also stands for y-intercept, which is where the line crosses the y-axis. In a table, that is our 0 row, and it's also the point on a graph 0, comma b. So let's take a look here about making a table of values, and we have this given equation y equals 3x plus 5. So because of what we know about 0 row, we know that 0 row is the same as our b value, and our b value here equals 5. So I know that on my table I am going to have the point 0, 5. Okay? And then I also know that my rate of change is 3 over 1. And so what that means is that every time x changes 1, I know that y is going to change by 3. So I can start filling in my table by using my initial value and my rate of change. So I would have 2 and 11, and then I would have 3 and 14. And so I can make a table of values based on knowing all about initial value and rate of change. So here's an example. Go ahead and give it a try. When you're ready to see the answer, you can go ahead and hit play. We've got this given equation, y equals negative 2/3 x minus 6. From our prior example, we know that in this case our b value is negative 6, and that is going to be the indication of our 0 row. So our 0 row here is 0, negative 6. Okay. It's also telling me my rate of change, or my m value, is every time x goes up 3, y is going to go down 2. So I'll be at 3 and at negative 8. And I'm just going to keep using that pattern to fill in my table. I would be at 6, and I would be at negative 10, and then adding 3 over here again, I'll be at 9 and at negative 12. So we filled in that table of values. Next, we're going to look at, if we're given an equation, how we can make a graph. So a couple different ways. We could make a table of values like we just practiced and then plot those points. But another way we can do it is we can use our m and our b value to help us out. So I know that b is 5, and I know that that is my initial value, and that is also the y-intercept. So over here on the y-intercept at 5, I can put a dot because I know that that is a point that is on my graph. I then am going to use my slope, or my m value, which also represents rise over run, to get to another point. So from this point here, which is my b value, my initial value, I know that my rate of change is telling me to rise 3 and run 1 to my next value. And once I have that, then I can sketch my line that goes through those 2 points. So go ahead and try graphing this equation on your own. You can hit pause. When you're done and ready to see the answer, go ahead and hit play. So this time my b value here, or my initial value, is negative 6, and that represents my y-intercept. So I will be down here at negative 6, and I will make a dot at negative 6. My slope is negative 2 over 3, and that's my rise over my run. And so this time, instead of actually rising 2, I'm going to be going down 2 because of my negative 2 right here. So I'm down 2 and I'm running 3. Whoops, and I've got dots all over the place here. But I have made my 2 points, and so I can sketch my line. So our table equation graph relationship is going to go like this. I know B and I know M, and when I know that, I'm able to make my 0 row and use that in this way. It also allows me to come over here and make my graph of my line. And so all of these things are related. I've got a y-intercept, I've got a 0 row, I've got a b value. All of them are related. I have a m value, I have a change in y over change in x, and I have a rise over run value here that are all negative 2/3. So as you can see, they are all related, and that is how we talk about our equation, table, and graph relationship.